we're on the show, the three of us yesterday, along with Jose and Jack, and we the one topic that I brought up was Kyle Shanahan's biggest weakness, and I think we all kind of agree. Is it fair to say we all agree that decision making is one of his weaknesses?
Yep.
Okay, so my question to you is, guy's only 41 years old. Can Kyle Shanahan improve his decision making with time and experience?
I can start with this one.
Yeah.
Or go ahead, Maverick.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think he's 41. Exactly. Like, more experience, you should be able to improve. If you're not improving, as we saw this year, if you're not improving the roster, you're getting worse. So if he isn't improving his coaching style, that's a concern. And I think he definitely will improve as he goes along with more experience. You know, something that didn't work or did work. And unless you're the most stubborn person in the world, you eventually change that thinking.
Yeah, I'm with you, Maverick. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's just human nature. As you grow in your profession, you're going to learn what works, what doesn't work. A lot of it's trial and error, and it's applicable to any job, any career path. And we know that Kyle Shanahan's ego can get in the way sometimes. Yes, he is stubborn, but at the end of the day, everybody shares the common goal of doing what's necessary to get to the Super Bowl and winning that Super Bowl. And I do believe that Kyle Shanahan has it in him to learn from his mistakes and not trying to do the same things over and over and over and having the same result play out. So yes, Kyle Shanahan can learn from his mistakes and grow from them.
Okay. I set you guys up with this question. All right. It's a loaded question. You guys did a very good job answering it. And you answered exactly how I expected you to answer. I mean, you said what I expected, what I would have said yesterday. Yeah. But the thing is, this topic was presented to me by a 90-year-old man named Bo Chapman, who emails me all the time and is brilliant. Bo, shout out to you. Thank you. Bo used to work for AT&T in the 50s and 60s. And Bo is very into decision-making among people, managers of all professions. He pointed out to me a study called the, hold on, just a second, the Management Progress Study. It was a study conducted by AT&T in the 50s and 60s. It studied young men. This was the 60s where only men could be managers. Young men, their development in 19 different categories over a 21-year period. Certain categories as perception, decision-making, scholastic aptitude, how quickly you learn things, organizing, planning. And what they learned, it's a famous study. And what this study proved in the 60s is that there were no changes among a 21-year period in perception, decision-making, scholastic aptitude, organizing, and planning. That actually, by your mid-20s, you're pretty much set as a decision maker in your perceptions. And think about it. How do you teach someone to make better decisions? How do you teach someone to be more perceptive, to be organized? I'm not organized. You should see my desk. If I can't get that together by 33 years old, I'm just a disorganized person. You know what? That's fine. I seem to be doing okay for myself as a disorganized person, but I shouldn't be a head coach of a football team. I know my limitations. So what I'm saying is actually, according to studies, actually, you don't improve as a decision maker. You are who you are. And that goes for John Lynch too. I think Niner fans, I understand you want to be optimistic, but it's possible that Kyle Shanahan is brilliant at what he's brilliant at, and these shortcomings will always be his shortcomings. Did I blow your mind on that one?
I mean, I'm on board with that, but it's just difficult to me. For example, going back to the decision making, I use the example of Deebo Samuel playing in the fourth quarter of a blowout against the Patriots and playing the running back position. He got hurt in the fourth quarter when you're up 20 points. If you're not able to learn from that and stop playing your starters in blowouts in the fourth quarter, there's something wrong there, you know? So I'm giving Kyle Shanahan the benefit of the doubt. It's interesting to take into consideration this study and apply it to following along to Kyle Shanahan over the years to see if anything changes. But at this point in time, he's a young head coach. He's been in the league for a long time, though, so we'll see if his decision-making improves. How could you not? It's just so obvious.
I know,
like,
it seems counterintuitive, right? Because you associate decision making with like wisdom. Mm-hmm. But I think what this study is saying is no. Decision making is actually an inherent skill that you either have or you don't have by about 25, which is kind of amazing. But this isn't you can look this up right now. The management progress study, I'm looking it on psychnet.apa.org. I mean, this is from 1964. This is in psychologist scientific reviews. So I think it's very interesting. It might be something that Jed York might want to think about, because that's another guy who hasn't really seemed to improve his decision-making since he got the team when he was 27. And honestly, how old are you guys? I don't even know. Nick, how old are you?
25.
How old are you, Mav?
24.
Okay, so you're right there. And you know what? You guys might be better decision makers than you were 2-3 years ago, but I'm telling you, you guys are about there. You're about who you are. And you may make small little changes to your personality and your skill set from here on out, but I'm telling you, guys are who you are. And I'm not saying you guys aren't head coaching material. Maybe you are. But I'm just saying, you know, here's one more thing to think about, and then we'll move on. There's a thing called the Peter Principle. It's I don't know if you ever heard of it, but the idea is in corporations or in its football team, people keep getting promoted until they're finally promoted to their level of incompetence. That's what he calls it. Basically, till you're promoted to a job you can't do. And it's okay, you're a great quality control guy, now you're a tight end coach. You're a great tight end coach, now you're a coordinator. You're a great coordinator, now you're a head coach. It's like each time along the way, like the coordinator skill set had very little overlap with the head coach skill set. So eventually you just got guys who are like, you know what, I was so great at my last job that I now have to do this job now, but I'm better at that job. But now I have this job. It's the Peter Principle, something to think about.